Hello everyone, it's Jebro here. An engineer build, Holosmith build specifically. I hope you're well, hope you're safe, hope you're good. Before we get started on the build video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this video. It really does help if you chuck a like on the video as well as subscribing to the channel. As per the norm, chuck a little click on that bell so you can get alerted to future videos so you can come and see future stuff that comes out. I also just wanted to mention very quickly the Patreon channel as well. If you go over to Patreon and pledge $5 or above, you will get early access to build videos in Guild Wars 2 as well as some other stuff that I put out, as well as behind the scenes footage of my Twitch stream, what's going on there, stats, everything else that you might be interested in. Let's get into the build. Let's talk about the build. Okay, so why am I making another build video? Well, the reason is, you know, not much changes in Guild Wars 2, PvP as well, and ranked is a bit, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it doesn't make, I don't feel like, you know, where you are in ranked really matters because of the duo system in solo queue. Well, in the queue in the ranked system, as soon as they put solo duo queue back in possibility, it negated a lot of the meaning for me personally as a player, and I think for many people as well. And so I just literally play ranked for a little bit of the competitiveness in the actual game itself rather than the ranked leaderboard. Don't really care about it anymore. Haven't for a long time, probably even since like 2 or 3 years ago. But I have a lot of fun in this single game experience itself, and even playing just different builds. And this is a build I've been playing recently in ranked. It's just been fun. Won, lost, doesn't matter. You know, there's a lot of cheese out there at the moment. This is just fun alternative that I found for Holosmith that is ranged, that has elixirs, mortar kit, and some fun stuff. So as you can see here is Alchemy, explosives, and Holosmith. It's going for a bit more range, going for the light strike storm, the crystal configuration storm. It is now a projectile. Okay, yes, it's fun, it's good. Elixirs also fun as well as removing conditions, as well as giving you quickness, tons of boons, and I've gone for all four of them here. You might be saying, oh, go for grenades, they're fun, you know, they're OP. I don't care if they're OP, they're boring. And I've been playing them for a bit now, and I just want to play something different. I enjoy this more. Anyway, it's just the reasoning. Is it the good reasoning? I don't know. This is all range as well, so you can really, if you want to, slot grenades in if you really want to. Okay, there are going to be some different options here as well that you can potentially take. I've got demolishers at the moment. You could go for berserkers if you really wanted to. I've gone for Rune of Holbrack. Reason is for mic duration more than anything else, and just a little bit of minus incoming condition duration because there is not a ton of condition removal on this build. But at the same time, you're not being inflicted with too many conditions because you're not in melee too much. You're still quite close though, so you know, a little bit of that negative condition removal, condition duration is good. We have rifle as well as intelligence, extra damage, and obviously sigil of energy to gain that endurance back to enable us to dodge a bit more. What else is going on the rest of this build? Let's go and have a look. Alchemy, so obviously a lesser elixir V, don't need to go through that. When you gain Olo, you know, you do get the boons, ton of them, ton of the boonage. You can elixir when struck while below the health threshold, you get a ton of boons there as well. Things will be, obviously, you know, swiftness and whatnot. We'll talk about that because when you gain swiftness, you also gain vigor. So you're going to get it even when you get to that health threshold, 75%. So all the boons, you know, benefiting you massively, but they do trigger other things in this build, of course, especially if you're new to engineer. I know there's a lot of new players out there. That's something to take note of, especially because we're getting a lot of boons from our elixirs. I feel like a bloody guardian. When you gain swiftness, you also gain vigor. Obviously, vigor is endurance regeneration, very important. Lesser elixir C. Drink a lesser elixir C when you reach the threshold of conditions affecting you. That's important because we need to have a little bit more condition removal. Then we've gone to for emergency elixir. So when you're struck while below the health threshold of 33%, you get that barrier protection. Then also compounding chemicals, heal yourself when you grant yourself a boon and you gain increased concentration. So we are getting a lot of boons. Look at the amount of boons we're getting from this. We even get boons here when we refresh when we hit with an explosive to get fury. So it doesn't matter what kind of boon it is, offensive or defensive, that will trigger that. Elixir E, the reason I've gone for this over anything else, obviously engineering kit, recover health. The meta is so bursty at the moment, this is just not good. And grant regeneration when you remove a condition from an ally, more of a healing build, support build, and literally doesn't get used ever. It's just there's so many traits in here which don't get used in the meta, which is very power oriented. This gets used a lot. This is more conditions. This one here as well. HGH, it's obvious when you go for elixirs, you want to go for a ton of elixirs as well. HGH is kind of must have, really, because it reduces the recharge by 20% and the duration is increased by 20% as well. And you get might for every single one you use. Okay, hence the whole bracket to increase might duration and whatnot as well. Very important to make sure that you've got that. Always want to be looking at synergy in your builds in some kind of way, of course. Explosives is a staple in engineer at the moment, since they added, of course, explosive entrance, which is your first attack when entering combat explodes, dealing damage to nearby foes. This ability refreshes after a dodge roll, so it's extra damage. Now we are a little bit out of range, of course, at the moment, but we are still close enough for this to occur. So having a look there as well, your first attack explodes, dealing extra damage to nearby enemies. This skill is unique per game mode. You can see all the benefits there. Daze as well. Blind is so effective. Obviously blinding is so good versus things like Lich. If you can get those perma blinds off. Obviously you want more dodge, you want more vigor regen, hence why, you know, you're getting a lot of swiftness in this build, as well as making sure you jump over to Holosmith, Photon Forge, and getting that Holo Leap as much as you can. Regenning that vigor is going to be important. I actually kind of wish I could have tools in here. This build could be fun with that and just grenades and core engineer, but then, you know, it would be different. Could make that as another build, could be fun. So what have we got next? Gain fury when you hit a foe with an explosion. Explosions here. All of the explosions are awesome. Okay, explosion. You get the gist. Explosions. Now, what I've not tested, okay, is that Photon Forge skill 1 now fires explosive projectiles. Okay, so now what I'm going to go and do very quickly live during this video, and if it's going to ruin my face, is test whether or not that's the case. Oh wow, isn't that amazing, everyone? Guess what else is an explosion? Photon Forge 1. So you don't even have to have this coming out. So don't forget, explosions. Now I'm pretty sure that is where it's from. It's got the damage, you got the heat gained, does gain a lot of heat though, and it is an explosion as well. So this is why I wanted to run this, just for the fun of that very thing as well. Did I know before the build video was done? I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know. We'll see. You can tell me anyway. Explosions cause vulnerability. Obviously, vulnerability increases damage. Then we have blast shield. Best shield. Explosive entrance grants barrier. So gain vitality based on a percentage of your power. So lots of power in this build. Obviously, so we get a lot more HP, and the barrier is 340. Don't forget, that's when explosive entrance is used in your dodgy. Shaped charge, so deal more damage for each stack of vulnerability on your target, which is going to be happening a ton as well, because you're going to get explosions on your, obviously, your Photon Forge 1, you're going to get it from mortar kit, whatnot as well, and obviously on your explosive entrance, don't forget. Then we've got flashbang, so explosive entrance inflicts blindness. Sorry, this is when the blindness mainly comes in as well. When it hits. Additionally, it dazes foes above the health threshold. So if they daze above health threshold 90%, right there, blindness, next outgoing attack misses. That's very important. That daze as well, 1 second. But the blindness is very important, because especially versus liches and they're just pressing 1 and they're hitting you with that damage, and Necro Elite is ridiculously powerful. So this is very, very good. Making sure you got your vigor up to really take advantage of explosive entrance is so important. Okay, you watch my gameplay. Might not be thinking about it all the time, but I'm trying. Okay. Holosmith. So let's go over to here. Overheat, don't forget, reaching the limit. The heat maximum results in self-damaging explosion. Not in this build though. So just to note that. So Photon Forge reduces incoming damage but increased passive heat generation. Important thing to remember. Can go for prismatic converter as well. So deactivate Photon Forge, converts conditions into boons. If you're finding yourself condition heavy in games, depending on when you're using this build in the future and the present and whatnot as well, you notice the condition builds are more prevalent, could go for that. This, not so much. Heat therapy, so gain health per unit of heat lost. It's just, you can read that and go for it yourself. But this trait does not function while cooling due to an overheat unless photonic blasting module is equipped. Anyway, you can read it. Why am I reading it? I've just gone through it. Okay. Anyway, crystal configuration storm. So Photon Forge skill 1 now fires explosive projectiles but generates extra heat, and that's where you got to watch out if you're not running this straight down here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But you basically launch a arc of light at your opponent, so it makes your Photon Forge 1 ability a bit of a ranged ability. Pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice. It's fun. It keeps you out of the really close up melee range, especially of like spin to win Reapers and Revenants and other Holosmiths as well. I've noticed that I've been staying alive a lot more in these team fights and stuff, and even in like with thieves and stuff like that as well. I've often had a problem because they would kind of range me quite a lot, as well as like other range classes. I sometimes have a problem trying to just pin them down and lock them down. So just getting that range and just surprising them with like, okay, my Photon Forge 1 skill now hits them at range, and that's quite cool. Especially actually versus thieves as well, and versus dragon hunters, because they'll just stand on the spot waiting for you to come into the trap, and you just be like, well, now I can just hang outside. Okay, I know you could before with grenades obviously, but you know, another ability there which can do that. Laser's Edge. While Photon Forge is active, your outgoing damage is increased based on your current heat. Self-explanatory. And then Overheat. Now this is Photonic Blasting Module. Overheat now blasts damage to nearby foes and no longer deals its initial damage blast to you. Still does some damage. The Tool Belt recharge penalty for Overheat is reduced. Heats can only be lost after overheating. So you cannot let this thing cool off. It's not going to work. You get some burning on there, you get some vulnerability. The explosion though is bloody nice, and it is a blast as well if you've got fields on the ground, which you don't really have any of other than on mortar kit. And obviously, you know, some of the thrown elixirs, but that is the build. Okay, now few things to remember. Okay, mortar kit. Remember the explosions, okay? That's going to be keeping your fury up. You want to keep that fury up as much as possible. Critical chance increased by 20%. You always want to be having some kind of, you know, when you're pulling out that damage, that's what you want to be doing, okay? Let's think about this quickness here as well. This is going to be, see how much damage that did there. Yeah, that was a lot of damage. You know what that was? That was the elite. The main trait that we use at the end of Holosmith, okay? Without any additional damage, let's take a guess at how much damage they did. Let's not actually guess, let's just tell you. It's about 7k, okay? You hit someone with that's 7k-ish damage with this build, with making sure you've got Fury on. I hope I had Fury on there. It might have run off, but 7k, pretty good. There's nothing else there, hardly any might, hardly anything else, okay? So that you've got to stay close to your opponent though, and that's the thing. But like, so if you know Photon Forge wise, if you know that that's going to be the case, look at the Fury. If you know that's going to be the case where you are, you know, going to be a little bit further away, for example, you want to be using, you want to start getting closer to them. You're like, you've got to be watching your heat very closely. Here we go. Here we go. Heat. Boom. Make sure you're there. Use that 5 skill. Lovely. Again, how much was that damage? That was... And that was jump shot. Jump shot was 3.5k there. That was pretty nice. So that was, when I say at least 7k, sorry, at least 6k. What I'm talking about. But that was 6k. That was without the Fury. That must have been without the Fury, actually. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, you get the gist. It does a lot of damage, okay? So that's an important part of your rotation. You know, you've got things like Fury here for 8 seconds. So if you're worried that that's going to be a thing you forget to get your explosives up, you know, you could, your explosions up, sorry. You could just simply make sure that you've got that up. If you know you're going to be doing your burst or whatever. And then you could fail like me. But you get the gist of what I'm trying to do. It's okay. It's late. I have literally got chicken in the oven. Okay, I'm failing. But this is fine. This is fine. This is testing. This is Jebro live. Doing it live almost, pretty much. Not streaming live, but you know. You get the gist. Anyway. Range is pretty good as well for this ability, to be fair. You can see the damage between 1 and 2k, you know, not horrible at all. Just good to keep out of range. Just gonna keep that up. There you go. 6.8. So you're getting between 6 and like 8k crits on that heat. That final trait on on the old Holosmith called Photonic Blasting Module. So I just thought I'd let you know about this build. I'm sorry I'm feeling a little bit rough. I've got uni restarting, so I've got loads of things on my mind at the moment, as well as COVID, and just, you know, loads of stuff with the channel, Twitch and YouTube, and just trying to do things a little bit differently. Things have been a little bit lesser viewed or lower channel wise on YouTube for a little bit of time, so I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent, putting out more build videos and stuff as well. I would really love some suggestions from you guys if there's stuff you've enjoyed in the past that you would like me to cover, or if you just really like, I don't like necro videos, don't do them anymore, Jebro. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do at the end of the day, but I would love to know what you also enjoyed on the channel in the past. I did reward track stuff as well. I covered rewards in that when I got those up. Anyway, I'm gonna be back to casting the monthly as well. Hopefully at some point in time. I think I'm busy this month, but hey, if you've enjoyed what you've seen, chuck a like, do me a massive favor. I would appreciate that. Comment below, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Also, don't forget, you can move in grenades if you want to. I know someone's going to say in the comments, if you want to put grenades in, switch out one of these. Could be Elixir C, could be Elixir B. I would not get rid of you though. Okay? That break's done. Don't do that. Obviously, and you get some nice stability here as well. So don't forget to use those fields from Mortar Kit, removing conditions for healing, for poison, all that kind of fun stuff. Okay? You know all of the combinations by now. Maybe we'll go through those in a future video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, have a good one, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.